Welcome back, dear students. In the previous lecture, we started chapter 12, structure of the DNA. So DNA has been made up of nitrogen bases, deoxyribose sugar and phosphoric acid. Now in this lecture, we are going to start Chargaff's rule. The variety of DNA samples have been isolated, purified and analyzed by many workers. In this respect, Chargaff has done specific work on DNA quantification by paper chromatographic technique. Erwin Chargaff, a biochemist from Columbia University, New York, worked during 1945 to 1950 on base ratios in DNA. So while doing a specific work on DNA quantification, Chargaff noted that DNA is a monotonous polymer having 4 nitrogen bases in approximately equal proportion. So 4 nitrogen bases, that is adenine, guanine, cytosine, thymine, are occurred in the DNA in approximately equal proportions. When he analyzed the DNA samples of varied animals, he found that the exact base composition of DNA differs according to its biological source. This analysis shows some characteristic regularity pattern called Chargaff equivalence rule. The most important conclusions drawn by Chargaff are below. The total of purines is equal to the total amount of pyrimidines. That is purines, adenine, guanine, pyrimidines, cytosine and thymine. So A plus G is equal to T plus C. The sum total amount of purines is equal to the total amount of pyrimidines. The amount of adenine is equals the amount of thymine, that is A is equal to T. Similarly, the amount of guanine is equal to the amount of cytosine. So G is equal to C. Or in short, one can say that purines are equal to the pyrimidines. Adenine, guanine, these are the purines. Cytosine, thymine, these are the pyrimidines. So if we say the total amount of purines is equal to the total amount of pyrimidines. Furthermore, the amount of adenine, which is a purine, is equal to the amount of thymine, that is the pyrimidine. And the amount of guanine, which is a purine, is equal to the amount of cytosine, it is pyrimidine. So A is equal to T and G is equal to C. Similarly, A plus G, that is the purines, is equal to T plus C, that is the pyrimidines. The ratio of adenine to thymine, A upon T, is also 1, that is A upon T is equal to 1. Bases with 6 amino group are equal to bases with 6 keto hydroxyl group, that is A plus C is equal to G plus T. The ratio of A plus T upon G plus C is called disymmetry ratio. It varies greatly from one species of DNA to the other and is characteristic of that species. So the ratio of A plus T upon G plus C, it is called disymmetry ratio. It is the characteristic of that species and varies from one species of the DNA to the other. DNA isolated from higher plants and animals is generally rich in adenine and thymine, while relatively less guanine and cytosine are present. For example, AT upon GC ratio of man is 1.40 as to 1. So it possesses more adenine and thymine and less guanine and cytosine. The DNA isolated from microbes and lower plants is rich in guanine and cytosine and poor in adenine and thymine. So to the contrary, to the human being, the DNA from microbes and lower plants, it is rich in guanine and cytosine and poor in adenine and thymine. For example, AT/GC ratio of Mycobacterium is 0.60 as to 1. So it possesses more guanine and cytosine and less adenine and thymine. Chargaff's data suggests that adenine is always paired with thymine and guanine is always paired with cytosine. This data has been used in Watson and Crick's model of DNA that was proposed in 1953. So adenine always paired with the thymine and guanine is always paired with cytosine. So it is a complementary base pairing. The number of adenines are equal to the number of thymines and guanines are also equal to the cytosine. A plus T is equal to G plus C. Okay, so this is the Chargaff's rule. So here we repeat this Chargaff's rule. A sum total of purines is equal to the total of the pyrimidines. A plus G is equal to T plus C. Similarly, adenine is equal to thymine and guanine is equal to cytosine. A upon T, that is the ratio of adenine to thymine, it is 1. A plus C is also equal to the G plus T. So the bases with 6 amino group are equal to the bases with 6 keto hydroxyl group. The ratio of A upon T, A plus T upon G upon C is called disymmetric ratio and it varies from one species of DNA to the other and is a characteristic of that species. The DNA isolated from the higher plants and animals is generally rich in adenine and thymine, while relatively less guanine and cytosine are present, while in case of microbes and lower plants, the DNA is rich in guanine and cytosine and poor in adenine and thymine. The Chargaff's data suggests that adenine is always paired with thymine and guanine is always paired with cytosine. So this is all about the Chargaff's rule. Now we are going for C-value paradox. So before going for C-value paradox, what is meant by C-value? So the C-value is the characteristic value. C, characteristic value or the constant value of haploid DNA content per nucleus. So there are two types of cell found in the living organism. Some cells are diploid, these are body cells, and some are haploid cells, these are the reproductive cells. Reproductive cells, for example, pollen, microspores, megaspores, these are the haploid cells formed as a result of meiosis in the microspore mother cell and megaspore mother cell. So these are the gamete cells. Gametes are haploid, contain half amount of the DNA. So C value is the constant or characteristic value of haploid DNA content per nucleus. The C value is the amount of DNA in the haploid genome of an organism. So the haploid cell contain the DNA. So the amount of DNA which is present in the haploid cell of an organism, it is called as C value. C value is a constant or characteristic value that determines or that denotes the amount of DNA in the haploid cell of an organism or in the haploid genome of an organism. DNA is most important chemical component of chromatin, which is measured in picogram. Picogram, it is 10 raised to minus 12 gram. So picogram DNA has been measured in terms of picogram, 10 raised to minus 12 gram. The amount of DNA in nuclei is constant in a particular organism. Thus, all the cells in an organism contain the same amount of DNA except haploid cells of gametes that contain half amount of the DNA. So the cells generally called it as somatic cell or the body cell of an organism contain the same amount of DNA. So the whole organism's cells possess the same amount of DNA except haploid cell, because that haploid cell contain half amount of the DNA. Thus, each species has characteristic content of DNA which is constant in all the individuals of that species. So, if we see a particular species that has a characteristic content of the DNA, and that amount of DNA, that characteristic content of the DNA is constant in all the individuals of that species, it is called C value. C value means the constant or characteristic value of haploid DNA content per nucleus. Or in simple way we can say that C value is the amount of DNA present in the haploid cell of an organism. Or one can say C value is the amount of DNA in the haploid genome of an organism. Okay, got it? C value, it is the characteristic value, it is the amount of DNA present in the haploid cell of an organism. Okay. The genome of any organism contains a complete set of genes of that organism. The total amount of DNA in haploid genome of an organism is called C value. It is most variable from one to other species. For example, it may be 10 base pair for Mycoplasma, while more than 10 raised to 11 base pair for some plants and amphibians. So this value changes from one organism to the other organism, or one species to the other species, but it is a constant in the individuals of that species. Okay. So C value is the total amount of DNA in the haploid genome of an organism. It is most variable from one species to the other species. It changes from one species to the other species. Eukaryotes have more DNA content than prokaryotes. With increased genome size, there is an increased complexity of organism. So if you say an organism having increased genome or contain more genomic DNA or more genomic size, such organism is more complex. So with increasing genome size, there is an increased complexity of organism. Lower eukaryotes have less DNA. For example, nematode Saccharohybridis elegans has only 20 times more DNA than E. coli, while the fruit fly Drosophila melanogaster has 40 times more DNA content than E. coli. So when there is an increase in the genome size, there is an increased complexity of the organism. If you see the E. coli, which is a prokaryote, so when we compare nematodes with the E. coli, the nematodes has only 20 times more DNA than E. coli, while the Drosophila melanogaster, which is a fruit fly, has 40 times more DNA content than the E. coli. Furthermore, vertebrates have more DNA, more than 700 times more DNA content than the E. coli. So vertebrates that are more complex have more than 700 times more DNA content than the E. coli. The highest content of DNA is in the salamander Amphibioma that has 84 picogram of DNA, while man has about 3 picogram of DNA per haploid genome. So here in the previous paragraph we say that when there is a increased genome size in the organism is more complex. But here if we compare the genome size and the complexity, the higher content of DNA is found in the salamander, which is 84 picogram, while a human being possesses 3 picogram of DNA per haploid genome. Similarly, insects, birds, amphibians, mammals, where the complexity goes on increasing, the DNA content also increases. Thus, it is true that by increasing complexity, the amount of DNA, that is the C value, also increases. So, when there is an increased genome size, the complexity also increases. The genome size, we say it is a C value. So, by increasing complexity, the amount of DNA, that is the C value, also increases. There are some peculiar observations about C value. For example, the genome of toad Xenopus is 3.1 into 10 raised to 9 base pair, while man it is 3.2 into 10 raised to 9 base pair, means almost the same size. So the genome of toad Xenopus and the genome of man having almost the same size. But if you see the complexity, the man is much more complex in the development than the toad. So here we know this fact that. So here C value paradox, it is the relation between the increased genome size and the complexity of the organism. When there is an increase in the genome size, the organism is more complex. Or one can say that it is true that by increasing complexity, the amount of DNA, that is the C value, also increases. But if we compare the toad genome and the man genome, which are almost having the same size, but if you see the complexity, so this is the genome size 3.1 into 10 raised to 9 base pair and 3.2 into 10 raised to 9 in base pair, which is found in the man. So the size of the genome is almost same. So this size, we say it is a C value. But the man is much more complex in development than the toad. Another one example, housefly has a genome of double size of fruit fly Drosophila. But the Drosophila, it is more complex than the housefly. Whether the housefly has double the size of genome of fruit fly Drosophila. Amphibians have the smallest genome, which is less than 10 raised to 9 base pair, while the largest genome of some amphibians is 10 raised to 11 base pair. Yeast is the lowest unicellular eukaryote, which has a genome of 1.3 into 10 raised to 7 base pair, and there is a twofold increase in the genome size of simple eukaryote slime mode Dicotyledon. So from this example, we can conclude that the C value paradox from above example refers to the lack of correlation between the genome size and genetic complexity. Increased genome size, it is not be correlated with the genetic complexity. So C value paradox refers to the lack of correlation between genome size and genetic complexity. C value is the amount of DNA in the haploid cell of an organism or in the haploid genome of an organism. C value paradox is the lack of correlation between genome size and the genetic complexity. There are two specific points of the C value paradox. There is an excess of DNA than what is required to express the complexity. So those organisms which having the increased genome size but are less complex, so in such organism there is an excess of DNA than required to express the complexity. So because of this excess DNA, such organisms having increased genome size but are genetically less complex. Within same group or phylum, there is a large variation in the DNA content between organisms that do not vary much in complexity. So if we compare the different organisms in the same group or a phylum, there is a large variation in the C value, that is the DNA content between organisms that do not vary much in complexity. Whether there is a large variation in the C value, but such organisms do not vary much in the complexity. They are similar in the complexity, or there is very less variation in the complexity of the organisms that belong to the same group or phylum, where there is a large variation in the DNA. In short, one can say that those organisms which having increased genome size has possesses excess of DNA, so that's why they are less complex. Furthermore, the organisms belong to the same group or the phylum shows large variation in the DNA content, but they do not vary much in complexity. There is no much difference in the complexity. So this is the C-value paradox. So C-value paradox refers to the lack of correlation between genome size and genetic complexity. So due to the lack of correlation between the C value and the genetic complexity, one cannot predict about the and complexity and its relation with the genome size. So some organisms which are having the smallest genome, but they are more complex, while some organisms which are having the largest genome, but they are less genetically complex. So the organisms which are having the increased genome size, in which there is an excess of DNA that than what is required to express the complexity. Furthermore, if there is a large variation in the DNA content between the organisms belong to the same group or phylum, but they do not vary much in complexity. They do not vary in complexity. So this is all about the C value paradox. So in this way we finish our 13th chapter, structure of the DNA. So that chapter comprises constituents of the DNA, that is the nitrogen base, deoxyribose sugar and phosphoric acid. More precisely, it is a phosphate. Then the nucleosides, nucleotides, Chargaff's rule and C value paradox. So this is all for today. Thank you. Stay home, be safe.